Good afternoon, and thank you for staying. I think the audience was a lot larger this morning, so I appreciate your time. Look, SMG Technologies is a Brisbane-based organisation, and we've been running now for 5 years. Started up in New Zealand in 2010. We have a UK-based company, and we have a Brisbane, Australian-based company now. We have 31 employees in Australia, and we have 12 overseas around the world. Only about 15% of ours are currently sales. What do? We provided initially elite data from sports teams in franchise and governing bodies. What did that mean? That meant that we were aggregating a lot of data that came from medical injuries, allergies, it came from performance, strength and conditioning, high performance. And a lot of that makes up conclusions that you can then perhaps make a decision which helps that player stay on the field longer. Maybe you don't train them as hard that day, you put them in the pool. Because in professional sport, it's all about winning championships, it's about selling merchandise, and it's about putting bums on seats. So a lot of risk involved in elite sport, of course. What we learned from that, because I moved to the UK for 2 years, 2010 to 2012, was that over in those marketplaces that the uptake of technology is somewhat different, because down here in a country like Australia and New Zealand, very small. So we are trying to innovate on very little dollars. So it's true that we are some consumers of the data and of the technology, but making that technology work is quite hard. So what you tell? What analytics is like, there's so many people who have spoken about analytics to you today, and I've been in the tech business for 12 years. This is my third startup. So this is my first global startup. So there's a lot different in terms of challenges, but they're the same issues: not enough capital, not enough human resource. So you always play that game. What you've got to understand about the different regions and continents is the behaviour is quite different. Just down from the nutrients, from the consumption of food, the type of meditation, there's so many different variables. You know, in the Indian markets where they actually have more issues with fat bellies rather than the BMI measure that we use in English-speaking countries. So what that has allowed us to do is to be able to look at other marketplaces around elite sport. Elite sport is very small. In the US market, it's about there's 150 franchises that actually probably contribute in our market about 335. So we've actually got now amateur elite products, we've got a CrossFit product, and we are breaking down to the consumer market where there is different requirements and a different financial model. So we go from licensing for contract periods, then we go into subscription models, which is all transaction based. Our journey of analytics is just a massive learning curve. You know, there's nothing more challenging than knowing what's happening in healthcare, and healthcare industries are crying out for more information on what they can do with their data. They have a lot of data, but they don't know how to use it. So we've currently engaged with 10 large insurance companies. The smallest one has 1 million members to one that has 290 members, because they can see what the benefits are in elite sport. And if you use that data intelligence well, you can actually place it into healthcare. Very quickly, our business mechanics around about being a king or a champion, about having vision, about being good thinkers and engineers. That's what makes up our recruitment policy. So we know we're recruiting online very quickly. Now, I'm a Kiwi, so I had to play that today as well. But they are our foundation clients. We've had them since 2004. And the analytics that they've been able to derive from that is, if you notice, between Wales, England, and even Australia, we get more players, top players playing about 98% of the time. But you may wonder that does actually change the results. So we have been reporting business intelligence with them, as I say, for a long time. So what I can tell you is that if you use data wisely, it does work, and you apply it, and it does work and gives you results. 85% winning ratio, the most successful winning team in the world. So we have a very good platform. We have 250,000 elite athletes in our database that we can call records on. This is just a transition. Pro Athlete is wonderful, but actually the money's to be made in the consumer space. Sorry.
Thank you, Zane.